Hi, first grade. Today we're going to talk about watermelon seed stories. What's a watermelon seed story? That's where we are learning how to think about our ideas and narrow our ideas down to make a really small story. Because sometimes if we try to write about an idea that's too big, it can be too hard to write about, and then we just end up not writing very well at all. If we want to really focus in on details of a story, we want it to be a really small seed story. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And I'm going to show you this right here. This is a small moments anchor chart. Read along with me. Great writers write about what is important to them and zoom in on a small moment. Try writing a seed story, not a watermelon story. So let's look at an example of a big watermelon story. One day there was snow on the ground. That's such a big idea, right? Snow on the ground could mean so many different things. Then we have a little bit of a smaller topic. That's like a piece of watermelon. I went outside to play in the snow. Still kind of big, not small enough. Now let's look at that seed story. I went sledding in the snow. So you could write a whole story just about going sledding. You could even make it even smaller and write a whole story about one time that you went down the hill. That's how small you can make it. Here's another one here. Seed story is smaller story that focuses on one event. A watermelon story is a big story with many events. So we're picking one event. So when we're working on this today, friends, we're going to work on having our watermelon story and then narrowing it down to little tiny seeds. So one day there was snow on the ground was the watermelon story, and sledding was a seed story. Can you think of another seed story that could maybe go with that watermelon story about there being snow on the ground? Could another seed story also be that when you came inside, you got to have hot chocolate because you were cold, right? So sometimes one watermelon can have more than one seed story. Another seed story might be one day it was very hot out. There's lots of events that go with that, right? Then we could get a little bit smaller and say we went to the pool, but could we get even smaller than that and talk about the first time we jumped in the pool and how that water felt, right? Do you see how I took a big watermelon, a little bit smaller, and then I made it a little bit smaller? So that's our seed story. Those are our goals of the things that we're writing about today. You're going to practice taking big topics and narrowing them down. In order to be good writers, first we need to figure out how to come up with good ideas. So that's what we're working on today. Have a great day, first grade.